You know what? I've had people ask me before what my ratings on gacha games are. And today I've really wanted to like ponder that and be like, you know what? How am I going to rate the gacha games that I have played, or at least the ones I can remember? Because trust me, chat, I'm old. I play gacha games. I'm just like, I forget about some of them. But there were a few, that left a very lasting impression on me. And so with the help of Styx, I actually am using his tier list. I have decided that today I'm going to rate the gacha games that I do, or that I have played, right? Now it's going to be right here from Azure Lane all the way up to Arknights, because God forbid I am not Styx. I have not played every single one of these gachas. And if I have played the gacha, I don't remember playing the gacha. So I'm only doing the ones from Azure Lane to Arknights here, because those are the ones I absolutely remember. Now, before we get into that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite gacha game is. And, of course, leave a comment about what you think about my tier list. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for my specific tier list. I don't know, but we're going to go and figure this out, right? So, these are ranked just like gacha pulls. You have N as in normal, like, meh, it's whatever. I wasn't summoning for this. This is trash. You get the R, which is like, it's a little bit of step above trash. It's like going from Mickey D's to Burger King, and you could fight me on that. I think Burger King is better than Mickey D's. Then you got your SRs, which are pretty normal. Like you take Nikkei, for example, you get SRs all the time, but it's like, you could go ahead and get them, fully ranked up from there. SSR, which is like, oh my gosh, this is actually the bang for my buck, or pretty close to it. And then of course you are being God tier gacha game. If you summon this, grab it, right? Or keep it, level it up, all that good stuff. So that's what we're doing today. Now, I'm going to go in kind of random order. The first one I kind of want to do is actually Alchemy Stars. Now, Alchemy Stars, I am very sad about because it is end of servicing, unfortunately, but it had some good things for it. It had some really decent collabs. Like, I was actually very excited about Kobayashi the Dragon Maid being able to, pull my favorites, the girl with the shark tail. I can't remember her name. She had the shark tail and the long horn. She had the short hair, worked in the office with Miss Kobayashi. She was my favorite. But Alchemy Stars had a very unique, in my opinion, gameplay style. And I think that goes without saying, because when the gameplay is actually fun and actually like provoking of your mind, it makes it seem really, really good. The only downside is I couldn't get into the story. I didn't think that the story was like amazing. So for me, I just ended up skipping a bunch of the story, which is sad. So honestly, I think Alchemy Stars is going in mid, because the pros, it had really good gameplay and everything. But the cons were I couldn't get myself into the story. It didn't have that thing to make me want to spend outside of the Kobayashi collab. I don't know what other collabs they did. So if you were an Alchemy Stars player, let me know what other collabs they had before they end of service. RIP. See you in your funeral in January, right? Now, which one do I want to do next? I think we'll do Arknights. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid. I really don't get the hype for Arknights. I didn't think it was bad. It's tower defense based, and I think that's okay. I'm not a big tower defense guy. There are some times when like tower defense works in a game. Like I know that ZZZ's about to do their tower defense, play mode. But honestly, it was just like I'm gonna play it, but at least it's an event. This is just all the gameplay being tower defense. Now we are getting Arknights endgame. So I'm very excited to try that out, because it's not going to be tower defense from what I saw. But I could be wrong. But I'm going to leave it at R, because I think it's just, it's I understand people's hype behind it, but it is what it is. Oh, I forgot. There's also Punishing Grey Raven. I'm also going to put Punishing Grey Raven at R. Only because I haven't played it enough to really get behind it. The gameplay's fun. I did enjoy the fun of the gameplay. So there's that. However, the downside to it is that I just have so many gacha games that I just haven't dug into it. So I don't feel, well, actually, you know what? I'll move it up to middle, because I don't think I could give it a fair rating until I played it more. But I just think that it was just kind of meh, like the costumes are great and the character designs are awesome. But again, it hasn't pulled me in to make me like stay in the game, Let's see. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid on this one too. For you 7 Deadly Sins people, oh my gosh, this is trash. Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross is absolute garbage. I'm just gonna say it. I think that Grand Cross was terrible. It's by Netmarble, and Netmarble does horrible with their games, in my personal opinion. And honestly, like, there wasn't anything gripping about this game. Maybe because I never watched Seven Deadly Sins itself, but I just did not understand the hype. And you know what's funny is a lot of the people who are dedicated to this game hate this game too. It makes no sense that this game here has so many people playing and getting at least even like $5 million in revenue like every month, or even more than that, and is still considered one of the most hated games out there. I don't get it. Like, at least with, you know, Genshin, it's at least engaging gameplay, you know, in some aspects. It makes me feel like a toddler at times, but at least I like can play it and enjoy my time somewhat. With Grand Cross, it's just like, you go into PvP, and unless you're spending that moolah, you ain't doing so good, champ. So for me, Grand Cross is boom. Speaking of PvP being garbage, I'm gonna rip the band-aid on Legends too. Dragon Ball Legends is trash. Now, actually, you know what? I will do this. I will give it R. And the reason why I'm moving it up to R is because at least the art is really good. But the gameplay, as unique as it is in a gacha game, it's still like, you got people that your main thing is PvP, right? Like, you could go through the story, but after you've done all the story, all you have for endgame is PvP. And it's horrible. It's a horrible grind. I absolutely despise it. PvP is not a bad thing in a gacha game, but when you make it so it's so pay to win, in such a way, like, it's extremely pay to win for you to even do well, like, I just can't. And yeah, it has skill, but it doesn't help when somebody's got crappy freaking internet. And this is coming from a guy from in the first season. I hit level 50. I hit rank 50 in that. I was going hard in Dragon Ball Legends. I was spending money. I was doing what I could. And honestly, it's not it. It's not it. So it's R for me. I also forgot that I think this is a AFK Arena. AFK Arena is garbage. Like, I honestly think AFK Arena is just garbage, but well, maybe not garbage. It's not on the level of hatred for me, so I'll put it at R. I just think it's not that great. I understand people were playing it because, you know, it's an AFK game. But is it really good, or are you just torturing yourself? I feel like it's just torture at this point. So I'm gonna leave it at that, right? There's one here that I actually, there's a gacha game I completely forgot about, and I talk about it all the time, and I'm very surprised that I forgot about it, but I don't see it on here. So I'm gonna use let's see which character looks like that. I'll use this one. This one is Tower of Fantasy. Now, Tower of Fantasy's gameplay was not horrible, and the story was just kind of meh. The problem with Tower of Fantasy was the time locking. I hated the time locking. I thought it was the worst thing they could have done on launch. The fact that you're time locking me on treasure chests begs the question as to why I'm even playing your game. If you are gating me to where I can't level up, like I was originally going to do a 24-hour live stream of Tower of Fantasy when it first came out. And because of me like leveling up so quickly, I couldn't do much. I couldn't progress in the story. I couldn't do anything. And I was just so mad because it's like, bro, what is the point of this game doing that? And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just a day one thing. Maybe they'll patch it. I gave it a week. I gave Tower of Fantasy a good week. I put money into it. I was freaking summoning. It was whatever to me. The fact that it left me like kind of like boom down below, it's an R. I don't think it's garbage. I think that that's reserved for, you know, Seven Deadly Sins, but it was just, there was more cons than pros in my personal opinion. Grand Order, Fate Grand Order. It's gonna go in the middle tier. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I just didn't give it enough time. And I don't feel like it's fair for me to put it on at like UR, which some people would, because I just didn't give it enough time. Plus, I was playing the JP version, and for me, like, even though I love, you know, the Japanese language. I still don't know everything when it comes to Japanese. I can't speak Japanese well. So for me, I was just getting lost. So I was just like, it kind of ruined the moment. I didn't want to go EN. I was just kind of meh. So I'm leaving Grand Cross at SR. Or not Grand Cross, sorry. Grand Order at SR. Not to say that it's bad. It's just more so I don't have enough experience with it. And that's also where I'm going to put Reverse 1999 as well. I have a friend named Checo. Shout out to Checo. You should check her out. Like, she's freaking awesome. Wonderful person. Love her. Checo, if you're watching this, comment down below. Love your face. But as much as I like my friends are into it, I just can't get myself into it. I thought that the turn-based gameplay is my style. I love turn-based gameplay. But at the same time, I was just like, I couldn't get into the story. The voice acting at the beginning kind of threw me off a little bit. The voice actors are great. It's just, it threw me off just slightly. So for me, it's not that I hate Reverse 1999. I think it's got a lot of things going for it, and it's still going strong. I'm just not a fan of it, right? Let's find a SSR one. You know what? I'll put Azure Lane up in SSR. I think Azure Lane's good. It gets hornier every time I see a release for a character, and it is insane. The gameplay is not bad. You know, it goes into like little chibified people's like attacking things, but in all honesty, I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I spent a good enough time to understand how the gacha system worked and everything. I thought it was good. Like, I would go back and play it again, but I just don't have the time for it. So for me, Azure Lane goes in SSR. I also would put Honkai Impact 3rd at SSR. The story is great. The gameplay is great, but I just couldn't bring myself to log on every day, right? And at the time I was already juggling so many. So for me, like, it felt like the grind was a little bit longer. I grinded the story, but then I got walled. Like, I couldn't get past a certain thing. Even with me doing as well as I could and having the characters that I had, I just couldn't get past the wall. So to me, that just kind of put a damper. That put a damper on me trying to go further into the game and trying to stay with it. So I kind of fell off of it. So, but it's still really, really good. And I highly recommend everybody go and check out Honkai Impact 3rd. It's really, really good. And if you stick with it, like, you'll feel rewarded with the story. It's a very rich story. So, let's talk about Konosuba. Konosuba Fantastic Days. I love Konosuba. I think it's a fucking fantastic anime. Gacha game, it's kind of low bar. I would actually put Konosuba up there and probably AFK Arena and then Tower of Fantasy right there. Like, Konosuba was okay. But once you beat an event, right? There's nothing to do. There's really nothing to do. And I don't know if it ended service yet or not. If it's still going strong, it probably is. But I just couldn't do it, man. Like, I was playing it, and even as a fan of Konosuba, I just could not bring myself to continue playing it. So for me, it's just, it was mid. There's one that actually I want to bring up too. We're gonna do this on the fly, right? Let me get the icon. Where is it? There it is. It's on its, is it on its 3rd anniversary right now? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Reincarnated as a slime. I think, honestly, it's SSR. It's a good gacha game, right? In my opinion, it's a good gacha game. My only downside is that it's pay to win, in my personal opinion. There are PvP PvP aspects to it, but most of it is PvE. But the scale of how you go up, from what I saw, and I made a complaint to my boy Joker, Ice Cold Joker. I made a complaint where I was just like, man, it feels as though every time I progress, the skill gap continues to grow further out. It feels like There's no way for me to get up there unless I'm maxing out every single character. And I didn't think it was fair. Plus, the rewards they give to players just wasn't that great, in my personal opinion. I thought that they could have done a lot better with their rewards. So slime, or that time I got reincarnated as a slime gacha, is low on the totem pole for me. Let's see. We're getting down to the wire on some of these. You know what? I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid. Genshin Impact. It's crashed. No, in all honesty, Genshin is mid. And I would actually put it at high mid. Now, I cover Genshin Impact, right? I cover this game. And it's not to say like the game is bad. I still think that the gameplay is solid and that the story is still relatively good. It's not the best. I want Tectone to get like Techie. I'm just saying it's not horrible. It's not good though. I feel like the story kind of tries to make you feel really stupid, right? Or treats you like you're stupid. So it's like you go through something and Paimon has to reiterate it like 3 times as you're going through the story. And I think that's in of itself is just annoying. I'm not stupid. Some people are. I'm not stupid. And I find that extremely frustrating. Plus, I gotta say it, Hoyoverse. I love you guys. But your Genshin Impact department needs to be more rewarding to its players and treat them with some damn respect. So to me, Genshin is mid-tier. I'm still covering the game, but it's gonna be tough when Ananta and freaking Neverness to Everness comes out. Because honestly, I'm gonna have to kick out one of my gacha games. And it ain't gonna be ZZZ. It ain't gonna be HSR right out the gate. And it definitely ain't gonna be Wuwa or Nikke. So, I'm just saying, Genshin, figure it out, okay? God. Let's go with an oldie. Now, if you've been a fan of my channel for a long time, right? You'll know that I did Dokkan Battle. And I would put Dokkan Battle in SSR. The time I played Dokkan Battle, get this, guys, for 8 years. When I play a gacha game normally that resonates with me, I am committed to that gacha game. I would put Dokkan Battle up there. I would put it behind Honkai Impact 3rd. And it's so stupid. It's just popping bubbles. But I had so much fun strategizing. I used to do races with a bunch of like different like content creators. I did a Global Gang podcast with my boys Alec Hunter, 1982, Anthony Jamo, Trevor Isengard, Omni Toast, Tess Doba. And we had guests like Toon Rami. We had freaking Nolar. We had so many different awesome creators that were a part of it, like Rujo 4 as well. And I met so many great friends through it. So maybe it's the nostalgia playing in, because as of late, when I look at Dokkan, I just feel disgusted. Like I can't go back to it because it's like, it just felt like the skill gap was getting increasingly more difficult. I had gotten to a point to where my units were good. I rainbowed a bunch of units. I could do the SBRs and the super SBRs, or the, you know, whatever, the ultra super mega battle roads. And I was even doing some of the red zone and finishing up those missions. But then they started releasing more and more and more, and it felt like every new unit was just surpassing the gap that I was currently at. So it felt like, oh, if I don't pay like $200 to $300 to max out a unit, and that's only a possibility, it's not guaranteed. They don't have a pity system. Well, they do now, but when I was there, they didn't entirely have it. It was like on one banner. It just felt like I just couldn't do anything. So to me, I had to quit. So Dokkan Battle is SSR, in my opinion. Let's get the Tombstone out of the way. Princess Connect Redive. I would put it up there in SSR as well. Princess Connect Redive was, you had to be there. The EN version was behind the JP version, but I had so much fun playing the EN version. I was playing it and I just didn't know what I was doing at the beginning. But then my boy Lance helped me out, and he was like, dude, you should be doing this, this, and this. Here's some teams you should try out. Here's a site that I'm using. Here's the clan that I'm a part of. And it just became that much better. And honestly, the Princess Connect Redive fandom is some of the nicest freaking people that I've ever been a part of. Like, to be honest, right? It's insane how amazingly awesome that community was. Unfortunately, it got end of service because Crunchyroll is a bunch of dicks. I'm gonna say it. Crunchyroll, fight me. The universe is so big, it won't fight me. Fight me. But because of Crunchyroll and, you know, the company for Princess Connect Redive not coming to an agreement, aka Crunchyroll being dicks about it, we lost the EN side of Princess Connect Redive. Now, from my understanding, the JP side is still going strong, but I'm so far behind now that it would make no sense for me to come back. But Princess Connect Redive, I would highly suggest that people, you know, look at it and give a 07 because end of servicing was not fun. I legitimately was upset. I had so much fun with that game. So, I'm gonna start crying. I'm not crying, you're crying. All right, you probably understood that I'm saving some of the big ones for last, but let's go ahead and talk about Girls Frontline 2. Girls Frontline 2, I'm going to put it right next to Genshin Impact at SR. I think it's good. The gameplay is very, very solid, but I need more time with it. I need to understand more of the game. I think the more that I play, the more I'm enjoying it. And honestly, I could even make an argument for it being SSR, but to me, I feel like it's only been out for a little bit. We need to put more into the game. So for me, it's going to stay at SR next to Genshin Impact, but it's getting closer to passing by it. I think that Girls Frontline 2 has I don't know how to say it. Has the ability, there we go. Has the ability to go further and become a great gacha game, right? Now let's talk about what I think are some of the best gacha games out there. And I don't think it's any surprise. And people might go, you just went with the basic answers to say it's UR, but it's because I play these games and understand the mechanics, right? So first things first, let's talk about Nikke. Nikke is UR. I think more people should play Nikke. Nikke is one of those games that I think transcends a lot of people's judgment, because I went into this game thinking I'm just going to be a giant coomer and say, huh, boobies and ass. a boba. But I'm telling you right now, from the moment that first mission hit, mission 0, I was hooked. The story is by far, you could fight me on this, the best gacha story, bar none right now. Like, nothing is going up against it. I think that ZZZ is gonna start making waves with it in its version 1.4, I think it is. We're going into 1.4, yeah. And then Wuwa 2.0 is looking really, really good as well. But I think Nikke every time, and this is the shift up, they take this as a challenge. And they add like so many twists and turns. Like, you see old Nikkes, new Nikkes, upgrades, stories behind stories behind stories. Event stories are crazy. And even the like gameplay, if you choose to go manual instead of auto, is actually pretty freaking dope. So dope, in fact, that Girls Frontline 2 did it too. They do it in their event that's currently out right now for Girls Frontline 2. And I think that's really something to think about. Nikke, I think, deserves its freaking flowers. And if you're not playing Goddess of Victory Nikke, you should. It is so freaking fun. I love this game, and I will continue to play it. Like, their collabs are great. I think that they, like, the only one that I was really mad about was ReZero, because everybody collabs with ReZero. Can we not have Rem? Can we not have Rem and Amelia and Ram into a freaking game? Like, give me something new. But they had some great collabs, great game overall, and I think that honestly you should try it out. Honkai Starbucks. Now, you would think, as a turn-based RPG player, I'd put it in UR. However, I'm going to bump it down. I'm going to bump it down to SSR. It would have been UR before 2.6. And 2.7 saved it from being SR, to be quite honest. Now, my gripes with Honkai Star Rail right now, outside of the, in my opinion, fantastic gameplay, and unlike Ryuka Sensei, I think the story's great. I don't care what anybody says. The story's great. You may not like it. I love it. I think that the story is really, really good. One of the better gacha stories out right now. Is it better than AAA titles? Not right now, but I think with Ampharos, the Pokemon, No. As soon as we go into 3.0, I think the story's going to be picking up a lot. I think that 2.0 story, the overarching story of Penacony, was really good. Sure, it had some moments where it was like, what the hell? But it made sense as we continued on with that. And then people will argue that 2.5 or 2.4 and 2.5 were filler, which I agree. It was filler, but it was good filler. Like, having to fight, like, the giant wolf boy and finding out the story of Fei Zhao, it was just a lot of fun. I loved it. I think that the story's really good. The only downside that brought this down was the stupid freaking live stream for 2.6. I hated that live stream. I don't care what anybody says. It's not being overtly negative. It's being honest to God. That was the worst live stream they ever did. And it wasn't just me, okay? Other content creators thought so too. So get off your high horse if you love the stupid monkeys and bananas. I don't care. Like, I'm just saying. That story was bad. But 2.7's live stream was really good. We got the free 5-star. Hawkeye Star Roll's looking really good. Let's go into Wuwa. I would put Wuwa just behind Nikke. The gameplay for Wuwa is a upgrade from Genshin Impact's gameplay. The story is starting to ramp up really, really well. I almost cried at the Shorekeeper story. And then the Camellia story was really good as well. Now, people would argue, like, oh, the main character's, you know, like, just pulling all these bitches, and that's all he does. Like, who cares? I'm the one role-playing the main character. If I want Shorekeeper and I want Camellia both in my hands at the same time, and it's a three-way, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fuck both of them. Like, I'm just saying. If you don't like it, that's fine. I understand. Everybody's got their own cup of tea. You don't want the trope of everybody falling in love with the main character. But every gacha game does it for the most part. For the most part. And it's just how anime games work. Like, look at Sword Art Online. Everybody, like, craps on it, but honestly, it's still really good. I'm just saying. By the way, I'm not including the Sword Art Online games, the Variant Showdown, and the OG RIP Memory Defrag. Memory Defrag would be up there in UR for me. But, yeah, I just forgot to get those, and I don't feel like spending more time on getting those images. But I digress. Wuwa's doing really, really good, and I think that Kuro Games deserves its flowers. They did an amazing job. Same with Nikke. Two games that are not part of the Hoyoverse series that just do so well. Now, let's go ahead and talk about it. ZZZ, it's UR. Now, it's tough. I think that I'll put it between... I still think Nikke's the best gacha game, but ZZZ is a close second for me. ZZZ, I went into closed beta test 2, hyped. I came out of closed beta test 2, hating the game. The TV mode was so trash. But 1.4's soft relaunch of the game is absolutely insane. You got built in-game guides. You got freaking, you know, the new, like, Fall Guys, Bunny, Bang Boo jumping everywhere. You got Miyabi's new fused element. You got a free Harumasa. Blessed. And the story is really ramping up to be really, really good, especially going into version 1.4. So I feel like it's the best of Hoyoverse's work right now. So I'm going to believe it in UR. Now, this is my tier list, and it's just personal, right? You could argue and say, like, HSR is the best, Genshin Impact's the best, friggin' PGR or Azure Lane. You could argue, and that's fine. I would like for you to tell me in the comments down below what you would put in your UR spot. And let me know if you played any of these games down below too. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on them, like the Diablo game or Dislike, whatever these other anime games are. You know, even Uma Musume. If you played Uma Musume, if you played that, let me know, because I've honestly thought about getting into the Horse Girl game. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I like unique games. So, anyways, y'all, this is my tier list. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out GamerSubs. Use code Tyson for 10% off. And of course, have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by, and we will see you in the next video.